That's my premise, okay? Wrong or right. You may be right, I may be wrong. But I'm just saying that I don't think that the new monetary system is going to be the same as the old. Therefore, gold and silver is a scam as much as anything else.
But they're industrial metals. Copper's going up. Everything is going up because the value of the dollar is going down, Al. That's what we're saying. It's not that you have the gold, and then people say, well, what do you do with it later? You cash it in for whatever the new digital currency is.
Where are you going to cash it in? There's going to be no banks. So where do you cash it in?
The globalist. There's going to be implosions.
The globalist. Who's the globalist?
There's going to be implosions for the globalists, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Queen of England, the Dutch Queen.
Oh, God. Please.
No, that's who owns the Federal Reserve. I mean,
like I said, I agree with about 75% of you, Alex. I really do. I really like your show. But this one, I got to put my foot down. I really don't think there's going to be a monetary system very soon. And that includes gold and silver.
So you believe total, absolute collapse.
People are making money hand over fist right now on that. And look at the price of gold. What is it, 1,700 today? I mean, really? Really? And what's that going to do for you in a Walmart to try and get food? What's that going to do for you?
Al. We predicted it all. We're right. We're not bad because we were right. They're devaluing the currency, Al.
Well, currency is nothing. Currency is nothing. We all know that. And gold and silver, are a safe bet now. But what I'm saying is that's not going to be a safe bet in the future. And while it's at record highs, it might be time to sell and buy your supplies to live. That's all I'm saying.
No, listen, I hope there's not a total collapse. Al, it's been amazing and really interesting, and big fan of your complex music. We really appreciate you joining us, and I look forward to having you back on to have these interesting discussions in the future.
Man, I would even buy gold for that.
Let me say bye to you during the break. Bob Chapman's coming up, and I do look forward to you coming to Austin and seeing you. Again, the founder of Ministry, our guest. You can go to the websites, facebook.com/ministry or 13thplanetrecords.com. Al Jourgensen has been our guest. Bob Chapman coming up. Well, folks, the real interesting radio is going on behind the scenes, and we've got Bob Chapman waiting, and I apologize to Bob. He just always comes on. We got breaking news. Al is our guest, of course, the founder of Ministry, facebook.com/ministry, Al Jourgensen. And we've been talking to his wife during the break, and just really interesting talking to him. He just sprung on me, but he didn't want to plug it on air for some reason. They were inviting me down to their compound for fried chicken down in El Paso, and they were also telling me he's got a country album coming out soon, and he says he's going to send us a copy, so we'll definitely have him on for that. But you said you'd want to come back soon. You didn't even get into the Bushes and their bloodline. So, Al, give us 1 minute on that, and then we'll let you go because you're busy.
Well, George H.W. was not the start of, like, the CIA as we speak, and funny how when he was vice president, Reagan tried to get assassinated, and it's funny how when Reagan said, there's no way George Bush will be my vice president candidate, he met with the Trilateral Commission, and the next day George Bush was his vice president candidate, and then he tried to get assassinated a year later because they just wanted to put Georgie in line. His father was Prescott Bush, senator of Maine and the head of UBS Bank, which funded the entire Nazi war effort. Well, not entirely, because Porsche and Volkswagen and Krupp and a lot of other German companies certainly threw in their share. But
it was the U.S. arm.
And anyways, we'll go into that next time. But I've got the whole lineage of the Bush family on record, so we'll talk again.
Well, Al, I appreciate you coming on, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, Alex, it's been a pleasure, and I'm a big fan, and keep up the good work.
All right, I'll try, and it was great. It was great having you on, and I'm a fan of your legendary music as well, Al. Take care, and say hi to your wife for me.
You got it. We'll see you in El Paso soon, I hope.
All right, and Austin, too. Thank you. Wow, I tell you, I remember being a teenager in college listening to Ministry, and I still listen to it, and we play it as bumper music here sometimes on the show. And just amazing having him on. I apologize to Bob Chapman, the gracious expert, financial expert that we have on every Friday. And, of course, Bob has the internationalforecaster.com, the preeminent, thick, twice-a-week newsletter, 40-something pages usually. Total boil down of what really is important in the news. I read it religiously. A lot of it's also some of our news articles and research. Bob, listening to Al from Ministry, he thinks there's going to be a total collapse. So why would you want gold and silver? And I know they're still listening. What would you say to them?
Well, even if there's a total collapse, there's going to have to be some way that people can communicate with one another. Plus, there's the business of living. Shelter, food, access to clean, fresh water, and probably gas or something to start fires with. And these are the things that people think about when they think about having problems, breakdowns in society. And so an easy way to get things from one another is to have gold and silver coins, and a great variety of them as well. And of course, there's the investment value during the interim period. And so there's plenty to get ready for. And I think that what you had to say, Alex, was perfectly correct. And I'll just add a little bit to it.
Well, Bob, for me, it's really simple. I don't believe there's going to be a total collapse. We are going to be in a long-term globalist post-industrial depression that will never end as they make us wards of the state unless we beat them. But I know we're going to beat them, and they have psychically wounded the world with the fake Christian end of the world stuff that's government-financed, Rockefeller-financed on record, World Council of Churches, and with the 2012 tailored for atheist, agnostics, and New Agers. And, of course, things are imploding on 2012. They've always planned to do it that way. I don't think it's an asteroid. This is their move to implode the global economy. And the Rand Corporation said 12 years ago, get rid of posse comitatus. We're going to need it through the economic implosion that they designed.
And that's all correct. And we're in the middle of it right now. And how long it will last, nobody knows. You could be right. It could last for years and years. But I do know that they're facing some very difficult problems. And if they can't overcome them and they continue to get exposed as to what they're up to and what their end game is, then by the time they get there, the people aren't going to buy it.
Well, you know, the issue is I am going to the globalists, we have unlimited resources. Humanity has developed so many technologies that they've shelved, and they admit in their own documents they are purposefully cutting off the resources to the globe. They are purposefully blocking people getting solar power at their homes. They are purposefully getting us in a dependent position. Bob, I want to get into all the debt ceiling, the latest huge developments, and a lot more on the other side with Bob Chapman. I'm Alex Jones. Well, we had Al Jourgensen on for an hour and a half, Friday special here, and I didn't know what to expect from that. Ended up getting in contact with him through a little bird here in Austin, and that was a fun interview. That guy has seen a lot of things. We didn't even get into 1/10 of his exploits, but, you know, it's important to have guests on like that from time to time because it then also reaches out to an even wider audience. And, of course, that's why he came on this broadcast as well. Now, Bob Chapman was formerly in military intelligence, of course, fighting the Russians. Then over the years, he became the biggest private silver and gold broker in the world. Then, of course, he had the largest, most successful newsletter. A lot of folks claim that, but you can go back to the history he did. He helped publish, of course, the seminal book that, I don't know, I think it was like 6-7 million copies out there, None Dare Call It Conspiracy with Gary Allen. He published the Gary Allen Report. Just want you to know the great work of Bob Chapman, and he's been forced, of course, due to harassment and things, to take himself out of the United States to live to fight another day. And he joins us now. Bob, I want to get into the economy, but Paul Watson's listening right now because he's going to do an article. So is Aaron. and they want me to decipher this. This happens a lot. You know, the guys bring me research, but then when I've researched something, I kind of call them or write out notes, and then they do the research to confirm everything I've said and do an article. But I've got some big breaking news here that, quite frankly, I couldn't even really think during the last few interviews with Dillingpole and Jorgensen, because I was so upset by this, what I've learned, what the ATF is doing. I mean, this is such hardcore tyranny. And so in about 5 minutes, I'm going to get into this report, Bob, and then get your take on it. But we're multitasking here on air because Watson's waiting right now, and so is Aaron, for this breakdown. And then I want you to add to it. Of course, you will see just as much as I see, or even more, and we'll glean the key to it that's hidden in plain view that no one in the mainstream media is putting out via deception. But the ATF is we knew about this quietly going on a year ago by word of mouth. They were just ordering it. Then it came out July 11th. They were doing it in the Associated Press. And then now we've got the letters that went out after the AP article on July 12th, July 11th when they first put it out. And we have the aftermath. When you buy guns now, the ATF is visiting your house as a form of intimidation against lawful behavior. But that's not even the issue. I mean, it's big, but it pales next to them doing this outside of law. They're just doing it. It's called authoritarianism, dictatorial tyranny. But Bob, I'm going to try to just shut up for 5 minutes, break down the debt ceiling, the economy, what's really going on. Ron Paul says the Republican plan will destroy us. The Obama plan will destroy us. And they create this false debate where people pick a side when they're bought and paid for by the same people. So, Bob, you've got the floor. Please give us an economic breakdown.
Well, I think to summate the whole thing, you have within the Republican ranks the Tea Party people who were elected, some 87 of them, and they're pulling in one direction saying, well, we want long-term solutions and we want certain things in the language of legislation. On the other side, you have the Democrats on the left who back the president, but there's one issue that most of them don't back him on. And this is very interesting, and I don't think many people caught on to this. You know, they could have voted on this, and it could have gone through with some cuts. I mean, they went from $9 trillion for 10 years down to 1.7. It's ridiculous. It's not even a bill. But what's behind this is the most important thing they want to accomplish. And if they can't get that accomplished in the next few days, there will be an extension, and they can legally make an extension. And what they're after here is cutting Social Security and Medicare. This is what they're after. They'll start off by doing that, and then they will increase the reductions in those two areas. That means older people, and probably 70, 75, 80% of them live on Social Security. And if they're cutting it back, we have inflation at the same time, which is now running 10.6%, and it's going to get lots worse. They're going to be in a position, those retirees, where they just can't eat, and that's going to affect their health. Now, on the other side of that, we have the Medicare issue, and not only are they going to cut back, but they're going to have their death panels as well. So you don't eat, you get sick, they take a look at you, you're 82 years old, they figure maybe you'll live another 4 years, and it's going to cost them $500,000 a year. They're not going to treat you. They're going to say, you got to go home and try to take the best care of yourself you can, because we don't have the money to treat you.
And once the public is sold on that idea, we then go into the British phase where they go, no cataract surgery, no knee surgery. You pay your whole life into a National Health Service, and they ration it. It is eugenics. And I read the article in the first hour where they're not even doing basic medical care. Yeah, that tumor's 100% operable. Die. Just go home and die. But it's 100% operable. But if you wait 6 months, I'm going to die. Sorry, go die. I mean, it's so cold-blooded. Imagine the government running our health care. I'm sorry, Bob. Go ahead.
Well, you're right, Alex. And I want to impress upon the people that the people who today are 55 or older, they're going to get rid of you as quickly as possible.